I thrifted a dolly, pillow cover, and a tablecloth and turned it into the cutest decor. I cut the foam cone down, hot glued a foam ball to the top, and once it was dry, I placed a thrifted pillow cover over top and colored black eyes and a mouth with an acrylic paint pen. I used hot glue to adjust the fabric and glued a dried flower to the front so it looks like the ghost is holding it. I repeated the above steps for a small doily. I cut eyes out of a sheet of black felt and hot glued them on. Then I went a step further and hot glued dried flowers on top to make the cutest flower crown. For the third one, I placed a large foam ball on the top of an upside down tomato cage, colored the eyes on a thrifted tablecloth, and I placed it over top. Now I've got the best spooky cute ghosts for inside and outside this season. I hope this inspires you to get creative with thrifted items this Halloween.
If you've ever wondered what to do with those little plastic pumpkin pails that you can find at Walmart this time of year, so you're going to want to grab a sharp X-Acto knife and we're going to cut out the eyes, nose, and mouths of these little pails. Once you're finished cutting out the eyes, nose, and mouths of these jack-o'-lanterns, you're going to grab some fishing line. So you're going to take your fishing line and you're not going to do a single line, but you're going to double it and tie a knot and then use that to loop through the handle on the pail. In order to hang these, I actually have a window valance that I'm going to attach these to. I decided to grab some 3M little clear plastic hooks that I could easily remove afterwards, but you could also use something like a push pin. Once I hung these, I thought, it needs something else. So I got these black bats from Walmart as well and hung a few of those as filler and then just waited for evening and turned on the lights and voila! We have a lovely window display and even my teenagers thought it looked pretty great. So it's a great way to celebrate the season and have something nice for your neighbors to look at. Enjoy!
I went to my local dollar store and I grabbed a pool noodle. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take either end, place them together. Just have a little piece right here and I'm just using regular duct tape. And I'll flip it over and do the same thing again. And I do recommend cutting smaller pieces like that just to start. And I came back in with a little bit more tape. And now what we're going to do is work in a garland. So garlands come in all colors. I'm going to take the garland, lie it flat on top of the foam pool noodle wreath. Take a black zip tie and secure it in place, just like so. And with the black zip tie, you're not going to see it against the tinsel garland. And now we're going to continue placing our garland around the pool noodle wreath with the zip tie. So these zip ties are the perfect length. We don't need to trim off the excess. Just circulate around. You can also pull apart all of these tinsel ties so that we can fluff them later on and work in some really cool ornaments using a technique that might be new to some of you. So another thing that I want to mention is I'm placing the zip tie and I'm securing it towards the front. That way we pose no risk of scratching our door. Zip ties can be rather sharp, especially if you cut into them. So I always encourage you guys, place the zip ties towards you instead of towards the door. And we'll just continue all the way around. And we're coming back in with another zip tie. Separate your tinsel ties. Now it's time to enhance this wreath and add some embellishment. So I have some of these little grapevine balls. So these came from Amazon, and as you can see, there's all sorts of sizes. My way of securing them is going to be using some floral pins. I'm going to just stick them through the grapevine ball, and then all we have to do is just work them right into the styrofoam. These pins are long enough that we don't need hot glue, and once you poke it in, it'll keep in place. So just take a floral pin, poke it right through the grapevine ball, and you can find all sorts of sizes of grapevine balls at nixseasonaldecor.com. They come natural, and you can spray paint them whatever color you would like. So I am making sure to place them also, too, to cover up the zip ties so we don't see those in the end. And I'm going to start with a few of them more so towards the inner ring, covering up that styrofoam or floral foam or pool noodle a little bit better. Place your floral pin through the grapevine ball and poke it into the styrofoam. As I shown you before, these do come in different sizes within one bag. So I'm just going to take some of these smaller ones, place 2 on a floral pin, and then place those into the foam as well. Now we're going to take some more. As you can see, we filled in with quite a bit on the inside, but we're going to take some and place them on the outside, and it's going to be even easier than what we did on the inside. I'm just going to feed them right into the tinsel ties. Just taking them, since the grapevine balls are kind of open, it's really easy to kind of wedge them in and stick them right on. And we have a few left, so I'm just going to finish off this design, mixing in all of the different colors and sizes throughout the entire wreath. And here's how it looks, you guys. I absolutely love it. We used a pool noodle, 1 garland, and 1 box of grapevine balls in different sizes. So I really love it. It's so festive, and it was really inexpensive to create at about $10 or so.
Can you guess what I made for Halloween using these foam dice from Dollar Tree? First up, I grabbed my foam dice and some craft paint. Using a foam paintbrush, I covered each dice with 2 coats of paint to get a nice even coverage. Don't rush this, let the first coat dry completely before applying the second. Once the paint was dry, I wanted to add some hair to my monsters as well. So I pulled out my trusty hot glue gun and went to work creating a textured hair effect on top of each of the dice. This was super easy, just swirl the glue around randomly to mimic some messy hair. Once that dried, I painted over the glue with black craft paint. This gave the monsters that creepy but still cute touch. Next, it was time to give my monsters some personality. I used a black Sharpie to draw on their faces. You can go wild with this part and see what you can come up with. You can make the faces scary, silly, or even friendly. I sketched out some monster face ideas on paper first and ended up with a mix of expressions to keep things interesting. I especially love how that green Frankenstein guy turned out. Next, to take the decorations up a notch, it's time to add some fun accessories to our monster guys. I found these cute glittery witch hat decorations at Dollar Tree, and all I had to do was pull the long sticks off the bottom. Then, using more hot glue, I attached the hats to the top of 2 of my dice. For the spider monster, I used a toothpick to poke 4 holes into each side of the dice. I cut black pipe cleaners in half and poked them into the holes, folding them to look like spider legs. The dollar store aisles are full of fun craft supplies and holiday decor that you can use to embellish your monsters and give them each their own unique look. This could also be a really fun project to do with kids. Just watch out for the hot glue.